What if I told you that being disliked might be the secret to your happiness? Yeah, I know. Sounds like the worst advice your grandma could give. But today, we're flipping the script on everything you thought you knew about happiness, trauma, and what it means to live your own life. Welcome to the Courage to be Disliked V3.
Wait, so you're saying my whole high school experience was just practice for enlightenment? Because if being disliked is the key, I was basically a happiness prodigy.
I mean, you were definitely ahead of the curve, Dax. Hey everyone, I'm Maya. And if you've ever felt stuck, judged, or just plain tired of living for someone else's approval, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into The Courage to be Disliked, an absolute mind-bender of a book that's all about breaking free from the past and finding happiness right now.
And I'm Dax, a guy who once tried to win everyone over with bad puns and worse haircuts. This book, it's like a philosophical slap in the face, in the best way. It argues that your past doesn't define you, and that happiness is a choice you make, not something you chase. Also, it's basically a dialogue between a grumpy young guy and a philosopher. So, if you've ever argued with your therapist, you'll feel at home.
Let's jump in. The book starts with this wild claim. Trauma does not exist. I know! The philosopher says, we are not determined by our experiences, but by the meaning we give them. So, if you're stuck, it's not because of your past. It's because of the story you're telling yourself about your past.
So all those years I blamed my inability to dance on that one middle school talent show. Turns out I just didn't want to embarrass myself again? Okay, but seriously. Adlerian Psychology, which this book is based on, says we're not driven by past causes, but by present goals. Like, if you avoid parties, maybe it's not because you're just shy, but because you want to avoid the risk of being rejected. That's teleology, not etiology.
Exactly. And here's where it gets juicy. The philosopher tells the young man, unhappiness is something you choose for yourself. Like, ouch! But think about it. How often do we use our problems as an excuse to not change? The book calls this the life lie. If you believe you're stuck because of your parents, your job, your acne, whatever, it's a really convenient way to avoid taking scary steps forward.
So basically, my procrastination is just my way of saying I'm not ready to be a genius yet? But seriously, this book hits hard on the idea that all problems are actually interpersonal relationship problems. Like, if you hate your job, is it the work? Or is it your boss, your coworkers, or worrying about what people think of you? It's all about the stories we spin.
And then comes the ultimate mic drop. Freedom is being disliked by other people. I mean, that's the title. The philosopher basically says, if you spend your life trying to please everyone, you're never really free. You have to be willing to risk being disliked to live authentically. Otherwise, you're just acting out someone else's script.
So, my high school fashion choices were just early experiments and radical freedom? Seriously though, it's tough. We all want to be liked. But the book says, if you're living for recognition, you're not living for yourself. You're just chasing approval, and that never ends. It's like social media addiction, but for your whole life.
Let's talk practical. How do you actually do this? The book says, separate your tasks from others. Ask, whose task is this? If your kid won't study, that's their task. If your parents want you to take over the family business, that's their expectation, not your job to fulfill. You can support, but you can't live other people's lives or let them live yours.
And self-acceptance. The philosopher says it's not about self-affirmation, like, I'm awesome, but self-acceptance. I'm me, with strengths and flaws, and that's okay. Stop trying to be someone else or waiting to be perfect. Focus on what you can change and let the rest be. It's like emotional Marie Kondo.
All right, pop quiz time. Don't worry, we won't grade you. Much. Here's a question. Think of a problem that's been bugging you. Ask yourself, is it really about the thing? Or is it about your relationship with someone or worrying what others think?
Here's another. What's one thing you've been avoiding because you're scared of being judged or disliked? Seriously, pause and think about it. This one got me thinking about how much energy I've wasted trying to keep everyone happy. Spoiler, it never works.
Seriously, pause it. We'll just be here awkwardly waiting. Okay, welcome back. If you realized your problem is mostly about other people, congrats, you're human. If you thought, no, my problem is definitely my weird neighbor's pet iguana, well, you might be right on that one.
Honestly, my first instinct was always to blame circumstances or think, if only X changed, then I'd be happy. But the book's right. When I actually took ownership and stopped waiting for outside permission, things shifted. Even if it was messy at first.
If you thought, I'm scared to be disliked, that's totally fair. The philosopher says, the courage to be happy also includes the courage to be disliked. It's not about being a jerk, it's about being real and letting go of the need for universal approval.
If you forget everything else, just remember this. You are not your past, and you don't need anyone's permission to live your life. The world is as simple or as complicated as you decide to make it.
Okay, you know what time it is. Life lesson of the week. Dax, you're up. What hit you this week?
All right, so true story. I tried to help a friend with a project, and they totally ignored my advice. I got all huffy, like, why ask if you don't want help? But then I remembered the separation of tasks. It was their project, not mine. My job was to support, not control. When I let go, we actually got closer. Sometimes being helpful means stepping back, not stepping in.
That hit me, honestly. Mine's a little embarrassing. I caught myself obsessing over a social media post. Like, will people like it? Will they think I'm weird? Then I remembered this episode and just posted what felt true. Some people didn't get it, but a few reached out and said it meant a lot. Sometimes, the people who matter most are the ones who see the real you.
All right, before we let you go, vocab check. Don't worry, this is the fun part. Let's make these stick.
Teleology. That's the idea that we act based on our goals, not our past. So, if you're avoiding karaoke, maybe your goal is to avoid embarrassment, not because you were scarred by that one time in 3rd grade.
Separation of tasks. This is the magic question. Whose problem is this? If it's not yours, don't carry it. Remember, trying to solve your friend's iguana problem is noble, but maybe not your job.
Self-acceptance. Not pretending you're perfect, just accepting you're you. Contribution. The idea that happiness comes from feeling useful, even if it's just by being present. And encouragement. Supporting others without trying to control them.
Seriously, thank you for hanging with us. Drop a comment, subscribe, and tell us your life lesson of the week. Remember, happiness isn't out there. It's in how you choose to live and connect right now. See you next time.